Imagine walking outside tonight, looking up at the sky, and instead of seeing just the moon and a few stars, you see something enormous. A massive glowing ring stretching across the sky from one horizon to the other. A giant cosmic halo floating above our planet, just like the rings of Saturn. It would be one of the most breathtaking sights in the entire universe. But here's the crazy question: what if Earth actually had rings like Saturn? How would they form? What would the sky look like every day? And could life on Earth even survive something like that? Let's find out. Saturn's rings are one of the most incredible features in our entire solar system. From far away they look solid, but they're actually made of billions of pieces of ice, rock, and dust. Some pieces are tiny like grains of sand, while others are the size of houses or even mountains. Together these particles create enormous rings that stretch more than 280,000 kilometers across space. That's wide enough to fit Earth more than 20 times across. Now imagine something like that surrounding our planet. Earth would instantly become one of the most beautiful planets in the solar system. But how could Earth even get rings in the first place? One possible way is through a massive asteroid collision. If a giant asteroid smashed into a moon orbiting Earth, the impact could shatter that moon into thousands of pieces. Those fragments would spread out into space, and over time Earth's gravity would pull that debris into orbit. Slowly the pieces would organize themselves into a giant flat disk around the planet, and eventually that disk would turn into bright shining rings. In other words, Earth could become a ring planet almost the same way Saturn did billions of years ago. From space the view would be absolutely spectacular. Astronauts orbiting Earth would see a glowing blue planet wrapped in giant shining rings of ice and rock. The sunlight reflecting off those particles would make the rings sparkle like diamonds floating in space. But the most incredible view wouldn't be from space. It would be from the surface of Earth itself. Because the sky would never look the same again. If you lived near the equator, the rings would appear as a glowing line stretching across the sky from horizon to horizon. At night they would shine like a giant silver ribbon above the planet. Even during the day parts of the rings might still be visible, reflecting sunlight and forming a bright arc across the blue sky. Imagine waking up every morning and seeing a massive cosmic structure floating above the Earth. It would feel like living on another planet. But if you lived closer to the North or South poles, the view would be even more dramatic. Instead of a thin line, the rings would appear as enormous glowing arches covering a huge portion of the sky. Standing outside at night you might see giant shining rings dominating the heavens above you. The night sky would look completely different from anything humans have ever seen before. It would easily become one of the most spectacular natural sights on Earth. However, Earth's rings wouldn't just make the sky more beautiful. They could also affect our planet in surprising ways. Because the rings would block some sunlight from reaching certain parts of Earth. As the planet rotates, the rings could cast massive moving shadows across the surface. Some regions might receive slightly less sunlight than they do today. Over time this could change temperatures in certain areas and even affect weather patterns. Some places might become slightly cooler because of the rings blocking part of the sunlight. Scientists would probably spend decades studying how this new ring system affects Earth's climate. Another fascinating change would happen during the night. Normally the moon is the brightest object in our night sky, lighting up the darkness with its reflection of sunlight. But if Earth had rings, the night sky might never become completely dark again. Sunlight reflecting off the icy ring particles could create a faint glow across the sky. In some places the sky might look like permanent twilight. Nights could feel brighter and more mysterious, as if the planet were surrounded by a giant glowing halo. Astronomy would also change dramatically. The rings might block parts of the sky depending on where you live. Some observatories could struggle to see certain areas of space because the rings are in the way. Scientists might have to move telescopes to places where the rings are less visible. But at the same time, studying Earth's rings themselves would become one of the most exciting areas of science. Perhaps one of the most beautiful effects of Earth's rings would be meteor showers. Small pieces of ring material could slowly drift toward the planet over time. As these tiny particles enter Earth's atmosphere they would burn up and create streaks of light across the sky. Imagine seeing shooting stars far more often than we do today. Bright flashes of light racing across the night sky again and again. The entire sky could become a constant cosmic light show. However, there is one important thing to remember. For Earth to gain rings in the first place, something dramatic would probably need to happen. A massive asteroid impact or the destruction of a moon could create the debris needed to form the rings. So while the rings would be incredibly beautiful, their origin might come from a violent cosmic event. Fortunately, events like that are extremely unlikely in our solar system today. Still, imagining Earth with rings helps us understand just how incredible and dynamic our universe truly is. Even small changes in cosmic history could have made our planet look completely different. If Earth had rings, our sky would be one of the most breathtaking sights in the entire solar system. A glowing cosmic structure stretching across the heavens every single day. A constant reminder that our small blue planet is part of a vast and mysterious universe filled with wonders beyond imagination. And sometimes the most fascinating discoveries begin with a simple question: what if things were just a little bit different? If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more incredible mysteries of space and science, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Quantum Facts Zone, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey through the universe.